Okay, hello. We are live, I think. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. Today, we are going to be having another impromptu live stream. I've been doing this throughout the lockdown, really, irregularly. I haven't been able to do it every day as much as I'd like to, but basically, the idea is whilst we're obviously on lockdown, we're not able to enjoy Kendo together in the dojo. Maybe we can enjoy it together online. And enjoy some Mitori Geiko or watch some Kendo content. And as it's live, we can interact with each other as well. I've got a chat window up here, so if you type something in the chat, I should be able to watch it. Now, today, what we're watching is what I've got for us to watch is a documentary that was put out. I think it was on NHK or something like that, one of the Japanese TV channels, following. The multiple All Japan champion and world champion. Well, he was one-time world champion, Japanese national team player, legendary kendoka Susumu Takanabe. It's called something like Onore Nikate or something like that, to win over myself, something like that, to win over oneself. It's quite a long one. I don't know if we'll get to the end. We'll see how we get on, but we'll get cracking. It's obviously the intro from the whatever TV show it is. It's not a new one either. I think it's from before the World Championships in, like, I don't even know when, Brazil or something maybe. I don't know. But, yeah, I think it's from the World Championships. Like, yeah, this is Brazil. So it's from around that time. So it's on, it's old footage. So it's a, it's a square format. So there he is. If you want to put something in the comments, you can do. Don't have to. This is talking about how at the last championships in Taiwan, the Japanese team lost. And how Takanabe-san himself became afraid of losing in front of others. And he's saying now how he lost confidence, but decided to challenge again. So I guess this is like kind of following the journey from after the Worlds in Taiwan, going towards the Worlds in Brazil. Leanie's so awesome, beautiful Kendo documentary is very moving. Yeah, it is. It really is. It's one of my favourites, which is why I decided to watch it. Sure, thank you for the translations. They're great. Well, I'll be honest. Like, this is going to be too long and constant for me to translate every bit of it. But I'll try and give a bit of a running commentary of the overall gist, shall we say? Looks like it's at the training camp. Oh no, this is a Kanagawa police training. That's what it says. He's on the right, facing the camera. Beast mode oikomi. So it gets us over 35 degrees in the dojo. It's that hot in the summer. So they're just saying about how he's always a successful player from being young and how he's got a lot of expectations on him. And he's been in the police for 10 years at this point. There's the captain.
そういう集団であればあるほどやっぱりもっとこう自覚持ってやらないと普段の稽古からきついことやってるの分かるずっと最後まで稽古やっててすぐかかり稽古入ったそれはきついよきついの分かってるけどそこでやらないと
Saying about how he knows how tough practice is for their, their police practice. Even right at the end, up to doing the kakarigeko is super hard, but you have to do it. Yeah, that was Hojo Sensei next to him, yeah.
Takanabe no tokui waza wa men da.
Lovely, isn't it? Look at that. Just instantly recognizable. Oh, there's the superstar, Miyazaki Masahiro, saying, basically telling us what a legend he is.
私は今まで剣道やってて、早いと思った選手はいっぱいいますけど、そんな中でもやっぱ群を抜いてますね。やっぱり生まれ持っての素質っていうところを感じましたんでね。この驚異的なね、バネの良さ。
He's basically talking about how obviously he's seen lots of Kenshi over the years, lots of ones that are fast, but basically Takanabe particularly impressed him. He's got real launch power. Yeah, this must be NHK because this is NHK footage.
この面で日本のトップレベルに上り詰めた。
そうですね。やっぱ面は得意技っていうか。
I'm talking about how his like signature technique, his tokui waza, his men strikes.
自分のやっぱりやっていく上でもこれから先剣道を続けていく上でもやっぱ面技っていうのはすごく大事な技だと思う。
He feels like having powerful, good men waza is the future of his kendo. To progress up the ranks in kendo. So talking about the World Championships in Taiwan now. I remember that, I was there. It was weird. Whoops. It's talking about how up to this point they'd never lost. The Team Japan had never lost at the World Championships. And he's playing as the Jiho, the second player, and the first player's already won. They're recapping over the 2006 championships. Whoa. That was so good. I know it's him losing, like, but Danny's kote there was just so good. They're kind of saying about how the American team had like really studied the Japanese players' videos and figured out.
That's an interesting part of Kendo, where when it's shoulder, anything can happen. What we have to do with the U.S. team is to be able to try to make that one chance or that one chance to win at the World Championships.
Nice. Oh, look at that. That was amazing. What an achievement the US team did at that Taikai. I mean, it's just amazing. Amazing. Yeah, that was a big shock when they lost that match.
確実に勝つことが期待されていた高鍋。
So they're talking about basically how even though he was like one of the star players, lots of people had been looking towards him. He lost the important match.
出てきたりはしたんですけど、
He got properly beat as well.
周りの人とかにこう慰められたりですね、そういう風にされてるので、さらにこう悔しさが出てきたっていう。
Talking about how super gutted he was about it.
そうですね。
負けた瞬間を何度も夢に見た。
Dreamt about the moment he lost loads. That's what he just said. Well, the commentator said. Narrator, not commentator.
人前で試合をする気に
I'm the commentator.
なれなかった。
いろいろやっぱ心配してくれたり、アドバイスくれたりしてるんですけど、これ自分の中で何か整理ができないっていうか。
So lots of people are he's getting lots of advice, lots of teachings and stuff like that. But after that defeat, there's something inside him that he can't quite put together.
こう踏み出せないでこうなんか、もがいてたような。じゃあなんでそこまでしてこう剣道をやるのかなとか自分で、
Kumamoto, where I used to
次
live.
の年の夏、高鍋は
Kumamoto
ふるさ
Castle.
と熊本に帰省した。
That's pretty nostalgic for me. His mum
両
and
親
dad.
にとって高鍋は自慢の息子だ。
Says for his parents, they're a son they can be really proud of. They said.
これがインターハイ予選に初め
This is
て
it. The qualifiers for the All Japan High School Championships.
いつもと同じ素振りを見せる息子。しかし剣道のことだけは口にしない。その胸の内を両親は察していた。
So his parents,
プレッシャーで大変だろうなと思います。
his mum. This his mum obviously saying about how must be lots of pressure on him.
まあね、世界大会出させてもらってありがたいけど、やっ
She's happy he's in the World Championships,
ぱ結果がついてこないといけないですからね。
but he has to get the result. So she's worried for him.
父はいたたまれずに言葉をかけた。
私も彼もですね、まあ、夢と希望をですね、あなたから与えていただいて、感謝しているという言葉で、まあ、今からはもう勝ち負けは別として剣道を楽しみなさいという話は。
So that's quite nice. He said in the car he was driving. That's his dad. He's driving with his dad and his wife and his mum, obviously, saying how you know he
だからこそ
he's already like made their dreams come true, and he should just try to enjoy Kendo.
こんなプレッシャーを自分一人でこう
Try to forget the pressure in a way, you know.
もうやらなくちゃいけない
Obviously worried about how much pressure's on him.
思ってたとこもあったんですけど、なんか、まあ、純粋にこうなんか始めた頃の剣道の気持ちじゃないんですけど、なんで今まで剣道やってきたのかなっていうことに対して、まあ、考えて、でまあ
Even started to think about why he even did Kendo.
もやもやしてたのが、はい、
What amount of pressure? I can't even imagine. You know, there's a lot of pressure on you when you're in the World Championships, no matter what team you play for. But you know, when you're at the top, there's only one way to go, isn't there? Right? So, and then after losing,
厳しい練習を
like they did,
自分に課した。
must have been hard. Knowing they've got to come back from that.
しかし長年 年の猛稽古で体は爆弾を抱えていた。
He says that there was a problem with his body.
稽古の前、高鍋は左手首の入念なストレッチを欠かさない。学生時代に剣道家の命である左腕を痛めていた。
When he was a student, he started to get pains in his left arm, the important left arm of the Kendoka.
胸の一部が潰れ、激痛で竹刀を握ることさえできなくなった。
It's so much that it just said what it was that happened, but I don't know the technical terminology.
2ミリ短くし、金属板と4本のネジで固定。
So basically, he had this surgery. I think they shortened his arm.
残ったまま。
He was at a point where he couldn't even grip the shinai, but basically that's how surgery. It looks like they shortened his forearm and put those screws in it. Guess they're still there. Don't know.
不安が残る。
Look at this Kakari Geiko.
それでも厳しい稽古。
That's what Kakari Geiko looks like, by the way. So if you have to do Kakari Geiko, that's what it looks like. Now, look, I know we can't all do that ability, but you have to try to do it that rhythm. Yeah, it's not man, kote man, 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 kote man, man, do man. That sort of rhythm. It's the All Japan Kendo Championships.
全日本選手権。高鍋にとって復活を示す絶好の機会。
It's a good opportunity for him to start his comeback. It's against Kiwada-san by the looks of it. Whoa, man.
得意の面を
That
次々に
boom.
勝ち進んだ。迎えた決勝。
So he's in the final.
相手は最強のライバル、寺本昌司。
He says his strongest rival is against it in the final, Teramoto Shoji. Whoa, there we go again. That classic Takanabe men. It's beautiful.
大舞台で決めた最速の面。
That he really caused the distraction there by pressing on the shinai, and then it sort of left the pressure off a little bit. That
証明する
sort of gave him that slight opening to fit his shinai in for that men. That men's like a torpedo, so.
世界大会終わってちょっと全ての面でこう揺らいでた気持ちが、その全日本でちょっと剣道的にもこう自分で自信を持てるようになったし、
After the World Championships, he's obviously won the All Japan, so started to regain confidence.
大会だったですね。
Oh. Quite a few familiar faces for me.
Pourquoi c'est un sport plus noble que les autres sports? Parce qu'il y a toute une question d'honneur et compagnie. C'est pas un art martial avant d'être un sport.
In the future, yeah, definitely. We have small kids in our dojo also practicing, so I hope that's going to grow. Yeah.
So this is at the Japanese team squad training or team practice.
代表選手を10人に絞り込んだ日本。高鍋はその一人として合宿に呼ばれた。
So See how they always go to squad training? They go to their team trainings in suits, like the Japanese team and the police officers as well. When they go to and from the tournament, they're always wearing suits. The Japanese team is always doing that. They used to anyway. I don't know if they still do.
これからのあとブラジルそれに一丸となってやるしかないんだから今回の合宿で団体個人それは決めていきますから
So they're going to start deciding who's going to be in the teams and who's going to be in the individuals. For the World Championships in Brazil. So he's going to be the Teramoto Sensei is going to be the Taisho, the captain as it were. He's never lost at the World Championships. So Furukawa Sensei is the coach. They're deciding the team order there for the practice shiais that they're going to have.
向こうからも向かってくるアメリカに行った時みたいにねああいうガンガン来た時に冷静になんてやって得られるわけないからねやっぱり本能に打ち勝つやっぱり荒々しいのをやっぱり使っていかなきゃいけないんじゃないかと。
Thinking about which players are going to be best, considering the the different types of players that they might play against at the World Championships.
重圧がかかる局面で力を発揮できるのは誰か。それを見極めるためだ。高鍋は合宿で常に上位の成績を残していた。
And it says that he at these squad trainings he always had the good results generally. But he's one of the only ones that lost their match at the last World. And Furukawa Sensei is talking about how how he lost 2 points at the last Worlds. Like that's for him especially like an unbelievable result. So it's concerned that he's gonna have the kind of jumpy reactions. That result from the past is going to affect the way he plays. How he's started to develop a habit where when opponent applies semi, he raises his hands this way to try and block, exposing his kote. Saying that if you raise your hands, you might block your men, but you could get hit on the kote. So again, here against the semi from his opponent, he raised his hands, and his opponent aimed for his kote, just like in the World Championships previously. Maybe the opponents will aim for that again at the next Worlds, is what they're saying. Saying that this is your worst point. You're always trying to escape. Why can't the Takanabe with the super strong men strike, why can't he let that go? That's what Sensei is trying to help him with. Furukawa Sensei.
稽古が休みの日にも市内を交える相手を求めた。
So even on the days off from work, he's looking for the people to cross Shinai with. And basically, he does keiko on his days off.
剣道の指導者たちが集まる稽古会。
It's the Godo Geikokai for the Kanagawa Kendo Federation.
主催するのは日本代表の元監督小林。
This is Kobayashi Sensei, the previous
高鍋に助言を。
kantoku. Like, it's not coach, it's like the kind of coach for and manager in the same for Team Japan at the last tournament.
小林は高鍋の迷いを感じ取っていた。
He says that he can feel his doubt by watching his keiko.
あれからも少しやったのか、どっかでやった、少しやったから、こういうふうにね、これはね、
He's also telling him about.
左拳の心だから、これが浮くっていうのは心が浮くんだよ。
So he's telling him about, saying about raising his hands.
まあ若いいろんな癖のある人あるけど、こういうの今高校生も多いですけど、もう高野君だって左手のピシッできるんだ。
Saying that, you know, you're not a high school kid, it's something that high school kids do, but you're like Takanabe, you don't have to do that.
アメリカの選手じゃない、韓国の選手じゃないですか。自分との戦い。そしたら絶対行きますよ。
He's not having to worry about fighting against the American players or the Korean players, he has to fight against himself.
近づく中、再び行われた代表合宿。
Back at the national team training.
高鍋はこの日、コーチの古川に稽古の相手をしてほしいと申し出た。
Furukawa Sensei told him that he wants to do keiko with him. He looks pleased about that, doesn't he? Oh, great. I've had that experience, not with Furukawa Sensei, but with other senseis. And so he's aiming for his kote because of this habit that they're trying to break.
古川の厳しい攻め。高鍋も攻め返す。
It's fantastic. See, you know, there's a big age gap between Takanabe and Furukawa Sensei, but, you know, and I know it looks like Furukawa Sensei is beating down on him, which he is, but that's also partly because the way that Takanabe Sensei is doing Kendo with Furukawa Sensei is he's doing the keiko towards the sensei. He's trying to dashikiru, you know, like let go of and attack. That's why the keiko has an aiki. It has a feeling together that's working. It's not just a competition. You know, if Takanabe Sensei and Furukawa Sensei did just the normal shiai, the full-out shiai, probably Takanabe Sensei is going to win. But, you know, non-definite. But that isn't the point of what they're doing here. That sort of flow of the keiko is just beautiful, and that's what you should aim for when you do keiko with the sensei. Not just trying to compete, just trying to hit them. Trying to fight against yourself, like Kobayashi Sensei said a moment ago. You've got a brilliant men coat, but you have to have the feeling right until the very end that you're definitely going to take the point. Definitely not going to lose. Please do that. He writes a Kendo diary.
間近に迫った世界選手権にどう臨むのか。
What he needs to aim for.
記した。
Stuff like that.
相手の攻めに対してどうのこうの考えるのはやめた。
So, like, he's trying to give up, or he says he has give up in like the getting not confused, but like all trying to figure out, like thinking too much when the opponent applies semi.
負けることを恐れるあまり相手に惑わされていた心。その自分に打ち勝つ。
That shit does the somebody. It's not tense, but there's a ippon in each one. Getting rubbish notifications for.
8月末
So in Brazil.
サンパウロ。
I remember it.
第14回世界剣道選手権
14th World Kendo Championships.
39の国と地域から300人を超える選手が集まった。大会の最後を飾るのは男子団体戦。先鋒から大将までの5人で勝った数を競う。
Oh yeah, there was no training hall. There's no training hall, so like everyone had to warm up outside on the car park. We've all got the trainers on. We've all got the shoes on.
団体戦の前日、1試合目に出る5人が初めて伝えられた。
Senpo Uchimura, Jiho Hojo, Chuken Takanabe. Kiwada is Fukusho and Teramoto is Taisho. So everything that you've worked for up to now, everything you've done up to now, have confidence in it and take that to the Shiaijo. All I can do is just do it. Now it's time to just go out there and do that. Do it. Have to win 6 matches to win the Taikai. So his fight begins. He got the opponent to lift their hands and he hit kote. Sure, how popular do you think Kendo is compared to a decade ago? I don't know. I feel like more. Definitely outside of Japan, it's growing. Probably not as much in Japan, to be honest. It's sort of declining there, but it's hard to quantify, innit? Whoa, look at that ski. Boom. Look at that. It's that Lee Sensei from Korea as well. He was super strong. Internationally speaking. Yeah, I think it is definitely grown in the last decade. Internationally. Definitely. But it's super hard to quantify it. So there's stuff written across the bottom. They're saying, apparently saying that like Korean players are #1 and we're gonna beat Japan, no doubt about it. But I don't know, like often the Japanese TV, I'm not sure how accurate they are when they give those sort of subtitles. I've heard stories that it's not always super accurate. Obviously, I don't speak Korean, so I don't know if he did say that or not. Maybe he did. Tell them to do their own Kendo, do what they came here to do.
韓国との大一番、高鍋は4人目副将で起用され
Next, they play against Korea. More of these.
白い道着が韓国、
The players in the white uniform is Korea.
去年全日本選手権優勝の正代健
So
二、
here's Shodai Kenji. Was a very famous Jordan player before he ran into a bit of trouble. Oh, Kote.
つばぜり合いからの小手で日本が先制。
Amazing. Like,
続く2人目、
he was super strong. Kiwata Sensei was also All Japan champion. Oh, yeah.
面を決め、日本
Textbook. Textbook.
3人目、
That sounds like Uchimura-san. Yeah. Whoa. Lost a man.
パワーとスピードを生かした面を決められ、
Yeah, that was spot on, eh?
4人目、
He's playing as Fukusho.
韓国の勢いを止めなければならない。
Have to stop the momentum of the Korean team, is what they said.
韓国は20歳にして代表に抜擢のチョ・ジミョン。今最も勢いのある若手のエースだ。
That's what it isn't that JY Joe? Is that him? Like the guy that was against Andor at the last Worlds? I think so. Because it says as he was a young ace player from the Korean team.
開始早々打ち込んでくるチョ。
Yeah, it says that on his Zekken, doesn't it? JY Joe. They call him Cho in Japanese, so.
高鍋は惑わされず冷静だった。前に出る高鍋。チョに技を出させない。
Keeps going forward, doesn't let Joe make an attack. Oh, Kote. Wasn't quite in there, was it?
残り時間13秒。
Just 30 seconds to go. Whoa. That looked like men to me, but
チョが焦って出てきた瞬間、高鍋が狙いすました面。
yeah.
完璧な一本に見えた。
I don't think he says it was a perfect dip bomb, but you can't say that. I don't think it was.
攻めの気持ちを失わなかったが、結果は引き分け。
So it ended in a draw. That's fair.
これで日本が2勝1敗1分け。
But that's okay. As long as
大将が敗れなければ日本の勝ちだ。
yeah, as long as the Taisho doesn't lose, then they win. That's what it says. So, Teramoto Sensei.
大将の寺本。
Can't remember the result actually of this year. So they win.
日本は2勝1敗2分けで前回優勝の韓国を下した。
So I think that's the semi-final. Then after one more match, said.
決勝の相手は前回敗れ
This
た
time is
アメリカ
USA. The team that beat them last time.
先方から3連勝で日本は王座奪
So they won their first 3 matches.
すでに優勝を決めた後の高鍋の試合
So they've already won, but now is, you know,
相手はダニエル・ヤン前回の世界選手権で高鍋が
Takanabe Sensei's match, and he's against Daniel Yang again, who beat him last time.
ヤンの揺さぶり高鍋は手元を上げない
Where he's concentrating not to let his hands up.
得意の面を打ち込む
Right, he keeps attacking his special men strike.
終了
Special, his Tokui. Tokui is like his signature men strike. Sure, have you seen rise with international attendance reflected at the World as well? It's hard to quantify via the World as well because every time there's a World Championship, I think it's steadily going up, like the attendance at the World, but at the same time, it's hard to quantify if that is an accurate way as to whether it means there's more people doing Kendo or not, because like sometimes if it's in a particularly, you know, sometimes some countries can't go for whatever reasons, maybe it's too far away or whatever, and
高鍋の世界選手権
sometimes there's lots of people doing Kendo in a country, like the Philippines, for example. That's grown a lot over the last 10 years, but doesn't have an entry into the World Championships yet. So, you know, it's hard to even quantify it by that. But I believe it is raising the participation at the World Championships, raising too, yeah.
喜びもこういう形で出ますし
He's pleased.
正直そういうのを求めてずっとやってますから、こういう喜びがあるからまた苦しい練習も耐えれますから。
And because you have this enjoyment, this Yorokobi is like joy, and that allows him to return to the hard keiko. Gives him the reason to do it.
屈辱的な敗北から3年自らに打ち勝った高鍋進目指す理想の剣道に向けて
Aiming towards the perfect Kendo. Moreni kate. To win over myself. Win over oneself. And there we go. Done. Wow, that was fun. So that was like 40 minutes. That's a longer one than we normally do. Thanks for joining me whilst we watched that. It's one of my favourite Kendo documentaries. I was, you know, I wasn't sure what video to watch today, and I haven't watched this one in a while, but I do really love it. It really inspires me every time I watch it. There's loads of things I see in it, and it really spurs me on, you know. And I know we can't get to the dojo necessarily in practice right now, but, you know, isn't it going to be great when we can? And we can get back to it with renewed and refreshed enthusiasm. Thank you for joining me today. It's Friday, so I don't think I'll be streaming over the weekend. I'll probably spend some time with my family instead. But thank you for joining me. I had a great time. Yeah, take care of yourselves. Have a great weekend. And yeah, all that stuff. Shop at KendoStar and all that. You know the script with that. I don't need to go there. All right. All right, guys. Take care of yourselves. See you soon. Bye-bye.